Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at which is the best lightweight in Smash Ultimate. We're going to be taking a look at characters from the weight of Rosalina, Falco, and downward because there's a little gap between Zelda and Sora. So that is all of these characters right here and we're going to get right into it, starting off with the little guys but bad, Kirby. He's the only one in this tier because lightweights in this game are pretty decent. I think most of them are fitting in this mid tier but great tier, but Kirby is in this bad tier because, this character just doesn't really have anything. He has some really good tilts. He has some okay aerials. His specials are okay. Like, Suck can be really good sometimes, really bad sometimes. It really does depend on the matchup. But he's just so incredibly slow that he isn't really able to utilize any of his stuff. Kirby's a character that if he was put on, like, you give Kirby, like, good air mobility, you give Kirby, like, Wario air mobility, he's top tier and it's not close. Like, this character could have so much potential if they were just a little bit faster in the air. But unfortunately, they're not, so they're going to be all alone in this little bad tier. The little guys but mid tier, we have Pichu, Meta Knight, Rosalina, Mewtwo, and Jigglypuff. Now, Jigglypuff and Pichu are the lightest characters in the game by far. Game & Watch and Squirtle are at 75. Puff is at 68. Pichu's at 62. That is a massive gap, like really, really big, but also they're very good glass cannons just because Puff has rest, which is like the perfect glass cannon move because you die at 0, they die at 0, we are the same. And then Pichu as well, he has these really early 0 to death combos, but he can't just explode, and that's kind of the reasons why these characters are staying in mid, just like their win conditions aren't strong enough. And also with Pichu, you have to be winning basically every interaction, even if you just go even the interaction. Let's say I throw it like 3 T-Jolts, nothing really happens. I lost that interaction because I took damage, as well as me being so light that even though it's like 3%, it slowly adds up more and more. If you do 20% to yourself like in a stock, that's like 1/4 your stock, and that's a lot. So Pichu, bit inconsistent. Same thing with Puff. If you're not landing rest, it can be a little hard, but the character does have decent edge guards. Both of them do, so they can work. It's just they have their limitations. And then we have Rosalina and Mewtwo, which kind of suffer from the same thing of just like they are big characters, but they are extremely light. I think Mewtwo is okay. Like, having a charge shot is always good at Ultimate. He has potential. Some of his tilts are really strong. But I think out of any of the characters to increase in this little guys but mid tier is going to be Rosalina just because of Lumatech. I think Lumatech is really strong. Luma's just like amazing mechanic overall. But without Luma, Rosalina is incredibly weak. So if Rosalina players can figure out a way to make it so Luna like doesn't go into tumble as much, which I don't know even how you would do that, but maybe there's like some shield tech you can avoid Luma. Just Luma control in general getting better. It could make her a lot stronger. Like DeBuzz, he's pioneering this character. He's pushing tech way, way more. Like, there's a bunch of stuff being discovered with Rosa. So I could see her going up, but for now she is in the mid tier. And then Meta Knight. Meta Knight has some very, very strong options. Meta Knight ladder combos, insane. Meta Knight dash attack, insane. All of Meta Knight specials, unreal. His down beat's one of the best down beats in the game, but he just gets kind of power crept, even though he does have a sword, is a little bit stubby, and he is very linear. You kind of know, okay, Meta Knight wants to dash attack me, or he wants to grab me. That's pretty much it. Like, this character, it's very cut and dry, so it's pretty predictable. So he has some strong things about him, but at the end of the day, it's not too hard to adapt to his game plan, and that keeps all these characters kind of in the mid tier. They all have their strengths, because Ultimate, everyone has strengths, but they also have some very apparent weaknesses that keep them down, at least for now. Next up is the little guys but great tier, where we have Olimar, Bayonetta, Sephiroth, Falco, and Squirtle. Now, Squirtle is insane. He just can't kill. Everything else about Squirtle is amazing. Maybe he's like a little bit stubby, but also he is incredibly small. He has some of the best tilts in the game. And by best tilts in the game, I mean his F tilt goes insanely crazy. Like, that's probably the best F tilt in the game, unless there's a very obvious one I'm just forgetting. But it sets up into tech chase, it sets up into grab. It's just very, very fast on shield as well. Like, Squirrel F tilt is amazing, and one of the ways that he can secure a kill is with F tilt setups, where he just like tech chases you. His back throw is also decently strong. Up out of shield can work, but aside from that, you're not really going to be killing. So you honestly could move Squirtle down to a little guy but mid, because I think solo Squirtle wouldn't be amazing. But when Squirtle is just like in neutral, he is so strong. He has very good bread and butter combos. His grab game is incredible. So I think he is in the great tier. I just think this character is amazing overall, but it might be a bit of PT bias because you don't really see the weaknesses of him as much. Falco as well has some very strong bread and butters. Falco combo game is insane. But that's kind of it. Like, Falco's combo game, really strong. Everything else is just kind of Like, in neutral, he's kind of linear. He doesn't have amazing killing outside of like just raw like back air or down tilt. Outside of that, you kind of need to hit a combo. His recovery isn't very good. He gets kind of stuffed out sometimes. Like, Falco's combo game is strong enough to make him in the great tier, but he's not like good enough to be put any higher. Sephiroth is just so big, but he's so light, like way too light. I think if Sephiroth just got One Winged Angel a little bit earlier, even like 10% earlier, he would be like tiers better, because the One Winged Angel is absolutely ridiculous. That move, or that mechanic, just makes him so much better. It makes him way stronger. That third jump can be really helpful, especially with Sephiroth, where you have these massive hitboxes that you can just kind of throw out when you're like in advantage against someone, it's very, very scary. But a lot of the time, he's not even getting a chance to use the one-winged angel, so he's at a huge disadvantage because he doesn't really get his win condition a lot of the time. But when he does get it, he's obviously very, very strong. Bayonetta, her combo game is very good, but kind of like Falco, once you're outside of that combo game, you're a little bit screwed. Like, she has basically back air and then maybe up tilt to back air, but even that I guess is technically a combo. But back air, dash attack, and like jab forward throw, I guess. But Bayonetta's killing is very, very weak. But a lot of the time, you're going to be killing someone at like 50% off the top because her ladder combos are ridiculous. She has so many ways to tack on damage. Every single special she has pretty much does a bunch of damage or will lead you to a bunch of damage, I guess, besides gun, which are good in their own right because they can force air dodges a lot of the time. And then Olimar maybe should be in the Goaded tier, but I wanted to keep Goaded to this big 5 because I think it looks cleaner, but Olimar is very good. Pikmin are absolutely ridiculous, all of them. Like, white Pikmin does so much damage. Purple Pikmin, if Olimar just had purple Pikmin, he would be, like, top 10 probably if it, like, didn't slow down his weight, because throwing purple Pikmin at your shield is so annoying. Like, purple Pikmin are just so tough to deal with. You have to kill purple Pikmin against Olimar, or he's just gonna start building them up, and then he's gonna have these like really strong hitboxes that kill super early that deal a ton of damage. He's super small. Whistle is a really good like just get off me tool. It kind of gets you at a disadvantage for free in certain scenarios because they can't continue the juggle. Like, Olimar's a lot of amazing things about him. The only bad thing about him sometimes is there's certain characters that just have hitboxes that just destroy Pikmin. Like, if you have like a massive sword and you're just running through like 2 or 3 Pikmin in one swipe, Olimar can struggle a lot because he's constantly pulling Pikmin. He can't really build his lineup a ton. So that's like a small weakness about him, but I think overall Olimar is still a great character. I mean, all the characters in the great tier are pretty great. Now, the first character in Little Guys But Goated is going to be Zero Suit. Zero Suit is surprisingly light because, again, she's a fairly big character, but also Zero Suit's neutral is incredibly annoying. She is so mobile, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, her down B gives her a ton of options. Zair is an incredibly annoying move. She's just so quick in the air. She has some really strong poking tools. I think F-Tilt is crucial to Zero Suit's game plan. If you don't know how to use F-Tilt with Zero Suit, you're going to be struggling a lot, because then basically everything else is just you jumping at your opponent. And while her aerials are amazing, that can get a little bit predictable despite your amazing mobility, but she has some really strong bread and butters. Her upper ladders can be very strong. Nair flip kick is still a thing, even though you don't really see it that much anymore because people, like, 1, know how to deal with it, and 2, it just got nerfed. It is still a pretty prominent option that you have to be aware of. Her down air off stage is really scary because she can track you. Probably the best out of any character with a suicide dare in the game, because the dare is the spike for the entire hitbox, which is very strong. So she can track you from really high up and get you, which is a super scary option. It's also incredibly risky to go for, but it's definitely a factor you have to look out for. Zerus is a character that you have to look out for a ton of things, and if you're not aware, she's just going to blow you up. She doesn't really have a kill throw. Like, up throw is technically a kill throw, but like having a disjointed grab or like a tether grab can be good in some scenarios, bad in some scenarios. I think Zero Suit uses it pretty well just because she's able to play outside your range pretty well and then get in there really quick with that scary grab, because you don't want to get like boost kicked or down specialed or something, or down smash. Like, Zero Suit has a lot of things to make you scared, but if you know what Zero Suit wants to do and you're not afraid of her, it's very hard for her to get stuff. But still, despite that, her mobility is amazing. She has sometimes very good killing back air, still a very good raw kill option. I just like, basically the only reason that she's up here is her mobility is ridiculous, and sometimes she just explodes you. And the next character is going to be Sheik. Sheik is a kind of similar boat with Zero Suit. She has really good mobility, a little worse than Zero Suit, I would say, but also she has ridiculous combos and she has needles. Sheik with needles is so scary to play against because you either are going to take a bunch of damage or just die. She can start killing you with full needles up to like 70%, like, because you can get needles down or up smash, you can get dragged down stuff on the platform. Raindrop is an incredibly scary tech. Like, Sheik just has so much tech that you are able to use with her, but a lot of the time, if you're not using that tech, you're going to struggle because her stray hit game is very bad. Like, you look at her forward air. Her forward air on a full hop does about 3 damage, which is just not very good. It does 3.8 damage. It's not a lot, and you can string them together and get like maybe 10%, but like a lot of her moves just don't do a lot of damage, but also most of the time you're going to be able to combo at least 1 or 2 hits into each other, so you can build it up. And if you're using Sheik's kit well, like you're getting the maximum usage out of every single aerial that you hit, you're going to be doing pretty fine. I think up air is also something that's very important for Sheik just because of the DI mix-up that you can get on that, because you can cross people up. So up air can net you super early kills, but if you're not getting these early kills with Sheik, they can just kind of go on and on, like we talked about with Bayo and Falco earlier. Sometimes it's really hard to kill your opponent, especially when they're outside of that kill confirm window. Sheik's best thing then is probably like a needles into back air, maybe needles into bouncing fish. Needles are good at all percents, by the way. Camping Sheik is incredible incredibly strong, and I feel like people just really don't do it, but like her disadvantage game is amazing, her advantage game is amazing. She is like probably top 5 ledge trapping in the game. Sheik is incredibly scary, incredibly nimble. Her grab game is very strong. She just sometimes struggles a little bit to kill, but like it's a trade-off for the amount of moves that you have that are just absolutely broken. Now our third best character is going to be Game & Watch. So Game & Watch has up B out of shield, and this is kind of where the conversation should end because this move is ridiculous, but just for the sake of the video, we will go a little more in depth. He has this up air, which is probably the best juggling move in the entire game. That thing is ridiculous, and you really can't contest it with any character. The only way to get around it is if you have like a reflector, and even that can be fairly committal at certain times, and he can just kind of reflect it back. I guess like you probably won't say that happened, but it's not an impossibility. He also has this nair, which is just ridiculous. That thing is absolutely massive. Like if one of these fish hit you, it hits you perfectly into the combo. It's out for so long. Downer at a disadvantage is pretty nice. It has a massive hitbox, also really good for edge guarding. Forward air can set for the nice setups, and back air off stage is an amazing edge guarding tool as well as just being pretty strong. His smash attacks are ridiculous. Like down smash burying is really good. Up smash being like basically intangible is very scary to deal with. Forward smash also just kills incredibly early. Like Game & Watch just has so much going for him. Even his grab is good. He has combos off of grab, and at certain percents, like towards like the higher percents, I will say he does have a kill throw, which is just ridiculous. He doesn't need that. Oil can be a factor, and so can side B. Like side B's a thing that like it doesn't really matter, but it can just sometimes steal games, which is very scary, especially when you're playing against a character that if they grab you, it's a combo. He can grab you and kill you at 0%. That is not fair. He has bread and butters. His juggling is unreal. His disadvantage state is very strong. Game & Watch just kind of has it all, to be honest. And the two final characters of Pikachu and Fox are probably in most people's top 10, and they're both absolutely absurd, and the second best one is Fox. Now, Fox is ridiculous. He has some of the strongest kill confirms in the game with just drag down forward air setups. You have obviously nair and down air into up smash is incredible. His ledge trapping game goes ridiculously stupid, but I want to talk about Fox's grab game for a little bit because his grab itself isn't good, but the fact that Fox fast falls so quick makes his empty hop game incredible. He's probably the best tomahawk in the game. Maybe there's another character that falls a little faster that can utilize it better, but at least of the relevant top tiers, Fox's tomahawk is absolutely absurd. That's why you see Light get so many grabs, because people are not only, he not only grabs like really fast because he falls so fast, but you are so scared of Fox when he's just in the air, because if you get clipped by an air, if you get clipped by down air, if he like does even a falling forward air can set up into kills, you are probably going to die at least at certain percent, so he just racks up the damage with the grabs. You can get laser damage as well, which is like isn't that big of a deal, but Fox's grab game is, I think, severely underrated. Just the amount of grabs that you're able to get with this character because people are afraid of you is very good, as well as just again having consistent kill confirms. If you're not hitting those kill confirms, it can be a little bit of a problem. Like if outside of a certain percent, if nair up smash doesn't work, you're probably just going to need to get a straight hit back air or an up smash out of shield, maybe an up air call it as well, which are all options that you can just kind of throw out besides obviously up smash. But Fox is an amazing character. Only thing honestly keeping him from number one is one, Peak is very good, but two, there are random matchups that Fox just gets bodied. Like Ice Climbers is very tough for Fox. Luigi, that's probably like his top like 3 worst matchup. Maybe Pikachu's worst, but Luigi is really difficult for Fox. Game & Watch isn't like that rare one, but that one can be really tough. There are certain matchups where Fox just gets bodied, but in the matches that he wins, he is incredible. He's very fast, very nimble, very hard to hit, and his pressure is absolutely unreal, but he does have a couple weaknesses that make Pikachu the number one. And our number one lightweight in the game is going to be Pikachu. People forget how good Pikachu is just because we haven't seen him in tournament a bit. I think the last time we saw Pikachu in top 8 was either ESAM at Shine or Shiny Mark at Smash Factor. So, you know what? I'll give it up. People are allowed to forget. It happens. There's a ton of characters in the game that circle in and out. But whenever Pikachu makes a run, people remember this character is broken. His advantage state is incredible. His disadvantage state is incredible. Some of the best edge guarding and ledge trapping in the game, especially that edge guarding stuff. Oh my god, Pikachu on the edge guard is incredibly scary. For ledge trapping, nair just covers like a bunch of options. F smash is also massive. That's like a little bit more committal, but nair, if you catch the jump, can drag down. If you catch the neutral get up, drag down. You can just go for a grab after that. And Pikachu's grab game, I would argue that Pikachu has maybe the second best grab in the game, but like not the grab itself, but just what he gets off it, because down throw is at basically 80%, or at least like towards the mid percents and lower percents, a kill because of all the combos you have off it. Up throw starts to kill, and you can also get up throw thunder, which is like a little bit tricky to do, but there's a 50-50 there. Pikachu has a lot of those, and his back throw. Pikachu's back throw is really good because of this little roll he does right here, because he gets you so much closer to the edge of the stage, and then he gets to set up that edge guard, and as we know, Pikachu loves that edge guard. Up B out of shield, or just up B in general, just kind of gets you out of disadvantage. Like, it's really hard to call it where up B is going to go because of all the angles you have with it. You can zip forward and then sit back, and you have to hard call that out. You can just zip into the center stage, and you have center stage now. Like, Pikachu is very, very good. He has basically everything going for him. The only thing that maybe might be holding it back is he's a little bit stubby sometimes. And then I said right at the start, he can struggle to kill, but he has some straight kill moves like that. Dash attack specifically is like going to be kind of your main one. But then you get a little bit linear for the kill, so that may be something holding it back. The character is also very hard, and not a lot of his moves do a ton of percent by themselves, so you need to be hitting your combos, or else you're going to struggle, which make him have a little bit of a consistency issue, but also you can just spam T-Jolt, spam forward air, spam up B, and you're probably going to be fine as well. And I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm curious to see what your guys' list is for the lightest characters in the game. There's a lot of like lightweights that are actually pretty decent. Like I think glass cannons and ultimate can be very good just because how much damage characters are doing right now. But I'm curious what you guys think. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. The support's been absolutely unreal lately. Be sure to sub, all that yada yada, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.